So I completed all the tests, or so I thought. Because I was a smoker, they wanted to do a pulmonary test, and they didn't get it scheduled while I was in Pittsburgh, so it was something I had to do back in South Carolina when I got home. So I got all that scheduled up. Went to the pulmonary test. If you've never done one of those, this is it in a nutshell. They put you in a box, decompress the air some way, then you stick your mouth on this tube, and the nice lady says, breathe everything you got out. So you can't breathe no more, and then they do the hold until you're about to pass out, and then you can breathe. And they do that a couple times, and it gives your lung capacity a number, and that is your pass fail. So get all that done, send it to Pittsburgh, and they come back. They're like, hey, we're going to do selection committee on you, and that's done at UPMC on Tuesdays. So I was excited. It's done on Tuesdays unless everybody goes on vacation or somebody gets sick. So it seemed like every Tuesday there was somebody out. And I kept saying, God's trying to teach me patience, and I'm failing at this miserably because I'm getting angry. I'm getting frustrated. I'm lashing out at emails. Come on, man. So basically, we finally get to a selection committee Tuesday. It goes into the room. What a selection committee is at Pittsburgh, anyway. I keep saying that because I'm not sure how it goes at other places. Everybody you talk to, and all the documentations, all the tests, all the little notes they wrote, they all get in a room together, and they discuss you and if you're a good candidate or if you're not. So one by one, I imagine that they started discussing everything, and it was like green light, green light, green light, green light. And it got to the psychiatrist, and red light, which I'm not too shocked about because I'm kind of like a cuckoo clock, but without the clock, in a good way. Free spirit, love life, wild child type stuff. And I thought that's what this whole red light was. But it turns out that they were concerned about the drug and alcohol use and abuse, we'll say. So there was going to need to be some more hoops to jump through. I was not happy. I was aggravated, frustrated. I was lashing out in emails. Come on, man. This is like enough's enough. We're coming up into April, which is going to be a year. And now all of a sudden, what was supposed to take 2 or 3 months, according to Google, is just over a year, and it doesn't look like there's any end in sight. Well, in order to get to the end, there was going to be some things laid out. And if I wanted to keep going, this is what I was going to have to do. So I got back on track, and once a month for the next 6 months, pee in a cup, give blood, looking for drugs and alcohol in my system. And I was angry because I was like, you don't believe me? Here I am. What do I got? What do I got to gain? I'm not lying. But that was part of the situation, was to jump through a couple more hoops. And that's when they slapped me with a surprise one. Basically, when you do a transplant, whether you're a donor or a recipient, they really push for therapy, psychiatry, somebody to talk to shortly before, and probably about at least 6 months or longer after, to keep track of all this stuff. I got at least 6 months before I go back to selection committee, and they hit me with, well, you didn't do AA, you didn't do CA, you didn't do any kind of programs, 12-step, 1-step, 5-step. You don't have any chips. You have nothing documented about sobriety and what your plans are and everything. And I was like, I don't need them. I'm good. no desire again. So they had me find me a therapist. I was really not happy about that one. I don't like talking to people to begin with about personal stuff, but I sure as hell didn't want to sit down with somebody and have them dissect me. I just always think therapists are going to find something wrong with you just to keep you there. And I was like, this is some BS. They're all in this together. They're making money off each other. I don't, you know the whole thing. But in all honesty, therapy is a big part of everything in life. It's not a bad thing. My therapist changed my mind on that big time. So for the next 6 months, more hoops to jump through.